Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. I hope you can hear me from the background noise. I'm at the 2023 Evansville Extravaganza. Got the Cub Cadet finished last minute. All the boys at work pulled together for me. I can't express my appreciation to what they did for me. It was a really great job. Thank you very much, Kevin, and well, just everybody at work. But got the thing all together. Got the hood on it Thursday afternoon at work. Loaded up in the back of the truck Thursday after work, or Thursday before work, and drove on out here. Got a new seat for it from Tractor Supply Wednesday night, and here we are. Drove this thing around all day yesterday. Used about 15% of the battery just driving around, so it doesn't use hardly anything just driving around, and it just drove so good. Just had a really good time. Take a little walk around here. Later on I'll jump on this thing and we'll go for a little drive, but there's a whole bunch of cool vehicles out here. These guys actually share my last name, which is kind of neat. This is a father-son project. They built this little crawler from the ground up. The tracks came off of something, and they found some plans online for making the undercarriage. That's pretty awesome. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, you can do the kids tractor pull. Yeah, so this is really neat what they did. They made this whole thing. We'll come up here. Hold. So this is DJ Harrison's booth. This is his. Oh no, it's not. This is Troy Jenkins' tractor here. That's pretty awesome. Little articulating Cub Cadet. And over here, this is DJ Harrison. Say hi, DJ. Hi, DJ. He's got 3 tractors here. I found my next project. That's what this is going to be. This guy took the undercarriage off of a trencher or something and put it onto a tractor. So I'm going to do the same thing. This is a beautiful job. This thing is really, really nice. He put a blade on the front of his. I'm going to put a front end loader on mine. Of course, it'll be electric. He's got a little articulated tractor here too. It's really, really neat. And there's another one up here. This is a wonderful old man I met. I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but he's made these little economy tractors, restored them. There's just some really neat stuff here. In a little while I'll go and drive around and go check things out, but there's like some really strange things. So this whole thing has been put on by Lawn and Garden Tractor magazine. They've done a really, really nice job putting this together. They got this pavilion for us. Really appreciate that. But this is like a Panzer. I don't even know what that is. I think it's made in Pennsylvania. That could be a crawler. So, all right. We'll start a little tour over here. They got a whole section of stuff. Selling everything from old wagon wheels to wore out old tractors that you can buy and restore. Even got some nice tractors for sale, little wagons, even a unicycle. If you want a unicycle, come on to the Evansville Extravaganza. Who knew? All kinds of old antique stuff. The crowd here is really interesting. I'm used to going to car shows. And they just kind of want to go see shiny things and chrome. The people that come to a show like this, they want to see all this old iron and, kind of a little time machine and how things used to be. Yeah, see, there's a nice little Cub there. That'd make a nice tractor, a nice crawler. Got all these tents over here too. This place is just enormous. I don't really know if I'm supposed to be driving around here, but there's golf carts driving around here, so I got my little tractor here, so I should be allowed. I don't think anybody will say anything. Now we're getting into the stuff that I've always liked. I mean, I love my electric and everything, but this is the stuff that built America. These old hit-and-miss engines. Some of these things are just enormous. I got some setups over here. It's just wonderful to see and hear these things going. And you just can't deny that this is our history right here. It's just wonderful to see it all come together. All these folks coming out here. I mean, this is just a passion. They just do this stuff because they love it and they want to, keep our history alive, I guess you'd say. They have one up here that was running earlier that didn't even have an exhaust pipe on it. And whenever the exhaust cycle happened, it just spew out this big old flame. It was pretty wild. I doubt they have it. I hope they have it running. This thing is wild. You can read it, 1922, 20 horsepower motors. So I was talking to somebody about this little thing, and I guess these were used in the, they were used as road flares, but they were also used in the mines just as the light, like going down in the mines. Isn't that wild? There was an expensive version, and then they had guys just stuffed wicks into tea kettles and made lights. So how wild is that? That's an old water pump. Some of these things, they have so much, they're so violent when they're running that they shake the whole trailer. It's pretty wild. They got the trailers up on blocks and up on little jacks, and they're just bashing around. This big thing. I mean, what an amazing machine that is. Yeah. There are dozens and dozens of old tractors too. Some of these things are just so big. I like the old ones that they built, you know, like these old John Deeres, these little two poppers. They're wonderful. They're wonderful in the tractor pull. They got a little tractor pull here. They ran it last night. Did some of the lawn tractors in it. I think they're doing a full size tractor pull later on this evening. But like this thing, like this was built, you know, it was back before tractors were tractors. Like this one kind of still looks like a tractor, but some of the real old ones don't even look like tractors, like what we think of. But they're just wonderful. These giant lumps of steel, like iron for the engine. Like, you know, they just had this big engine and transmission, and they put the wheels on it, and they just kind of put some body work on it to kind of make it look, I don't know what they were trying to make it look like, but, you know, it's just, they're really, really great. This old John Deere here with these little wheels. You can't imagine these wheels would work. Like, wouldn't you get stuck? Like, wouldn't that just sink? I don't know. Must have worked. Well, I guess it didn't work because they don't do it anymore, but they must have had a reason. If anybody knows why they did wheels like that, please let me know. This is really going back in the days. The old steam engines, steam tractors, and I don't know what he's burning, but it's making a mess. It's just wonderful to see this stuff. Can you imagine operating that back in the day? Like when that was brand new and had brand new paint on it, and like you were the guy and it was your job to drive that steamroller sitting next to this, you know, 500-degree boiler in the middle of July. But that's how our roads were made. These folks over here, they got themselves a rock crusher hooked up to a pulley. These pulleys are a trip. I mean, you think something like that would fly today? That belt exposed. You got to wonder how many men were damaged by those by those pulleys. Crazy. And over in here, they got like a sawmill going. They got all kinds of blacksmithing going on, and they got a stationary engine running a overhead pulley system that's got an old metal lathe. You just can't even, like, I look at that thing, and I know a little bit about using a lathe, but I look at that and it's like, how did you get anything done with this piece? They even got these little bitty ones. When I was stationed in England, they did a lot of wind, wheels, and steam shows, and I love these old steam engines. It's like I think of it as like mechanical pornography. Like it's just all out there on display. Got your governor up there on the top, and flywheels and pistons, and just oil swinging everywhere, and heat and smells. It's just, I don't know, it's wonderful. And this thing, I mean, look at that. Keep your children away from that now. Golly. Oh, that just terrifies me to even watch that. Yeah. This ridiculous Steiger. This is so big. I like how they do the pivoting in the middle. They got that big hinge up on top. You see that there? But then in the back, just above the drive shaft, they got a horizontal pivot. So that's how it does the articulation. That's pretty wild. Giant diesel. It's just like, and the sheet metal, you call it sheet metal. It's, you know, it's like half-inch thick steel. It's just a crazy thing. These big old articulating tractors. I can't imagine a field big enough where you need a tractor like that? Like, must be 50s and hundreds of acres of field where you need a tractor that size to do it. That's not even a terribly big one. There's a huge Ford somewhere. I'll try and find it. But big tractors. Look at the size of this thing. It's just massive. It's so big. I can't like I was saying before, I just can't imagine a field that would be big enough, or implements that would be big enough that you would need a tractor like this. Like, I've got an itty bitty tractor with a little bitty bush hog, and that thing's a pain in the butt to put on the 3-point. How do you put an implement that's this big on a 3-point hitch? It's just crazy. It's crazy. And those cylinders they probably weigh as much as my whole tractor. This thing is just so big. I like to, come in here and see how Ford did it. They did how did they do this? I'm not exactly sure. There's like it looks, that's a tow bar. That's a tow bar there. And the steering cylinders are in here. That's a top pivot. That's a bottom pivot. So they must have done this with a pivoting axle. So their front axle must pivot. Nope. How did they do this? I don't know. It's kind of fun to see. There's so many ways of accomplishing the same thing. Stand by. All right, so I kind of figured this out. This is more like that Steiger where they had the big hinge in the front going up and down vertical, and then they had a big hinge going backwards horizontal. So this is behind that bolt. There's one of the pivots, and then back in there, you can't see it, but it's the other. So this piece down here is part of the back of the tractor. All this up here is the front of the tractor, and that pivots around this horizontally. So that's kind of neat. I've not seen that way of doing it. Well, not exactly, but anyway, big tractor, real big tractor. I mean, I'm a boy at heart, and what boy doesn't love a real big tractor? That's a really big engine. No idea how much horsepower this is. 335 horsepower at 2,600 RPM. I mean, that's not even a big engine. I mean, it is a big engine, but they make them way bigger than that now. But so anyway, all right. This is the other lot of tractors. A lot of these are a lot older. I love this grader. It looks like they had a tractor. Something was wrong with the front end of it, and they decided they're going to knock a bridge down. So they're like, well, what are we going to do with all this steel? What are we going to do with all this steel from the bridge? Well, let's make a road grader. Okay. You're going to love it. So cool. There's a big old tractor over there, a Ford 9600. I don't know what that means. Maybe 100 horsepower? I don't know. Big tractor. This big guy. Everybody's asking me, well, how do you make an electric tractor? I'm like, well, how do you restore a 1910 gasoline tractor? Like that carburetor. I don't even know that carburetor. Where do you get parts for that thing? I mean, that's really, really neat. It's wonderful that it runs. It'd be even cooler if they actually used it. Both of these things are going 1923 on the left and 1930 here on the right. I like the patina on this one. You can't buy patina. You can always paint patina, but you can't make it. That's really neat. That thing will just sit there, chug away forever. That engine's wonderful. There's this giant lump of iron. They didn't even smooth the sides out on the casting. I don't know if these were like mass produced and they needed to get them done quick, or they just weren't interested in, saving a little bit of weight. I guess they didn't need to save weight, did they? Crazy thing. Imagine that barreling at you at 50 miles an hour. Looks like something out of Mad Max. That's wild. Yeah, all those chains and pulleys and belts and conveyors and awesome. I like to try and think back to when this was brand new and Farmer Johnson just bought this thing, and everybody up and down the road, gravel road, were like, hey, I heard Farmer Johnson's got a tractor. Yeah, let's go check it out. And he'd be all proud with his hat on. Cool. They're out here in mass getting this pulling track ready. That old steam engine, obviously you can see it. The steamroller, it's out there working. That's pretty awesome. I don't know how old that is, but it's still got some life in it. It's still got some work. It can still do what it does. Yeah, I think they're gonna have like big tractor. Well, they're all lined up there at the end. They're gonna have some big tractors here later on today. I don't know if they're gonna actually bring in real tractor pull teams or anything, but we'll see. Okay, guys, we made it home and had a great time at the LGTM. It makes me giggle when I say it. Lawn and Garden Tractor Magazine tractor show at Evansville, Indiana. Had a fun time there, met a whole bunch of neat people, saw some fantastic tractors. Really good time. The tractor was excellent, got a lot of attention, a lot of interest. One guy even took my phone number and address, said he's got an old tractor. I don't know if he got inspired to do it himself or if he's going to contact me and ask me to do it. It's not really my gig doing other stuff for other people, but he was a really nice guy, and I might consider it. Maybe. I don't know. But I ended up entering the lawn garden rodeo that they had there at the arena. There was several different cute little competitions. There was one where you drag a chain into a box and you gotta like go forward and backwards to get the chain in the box. And then there was another, oh, I have a cat. Hello. And there was another one where there was like a log, a 4x4 at the end of a chain, and then you had to drag that around some barrels. And I entered that one. I got second place in that. There was a drag race. I don't know how long it was, maybe 20 feet or something, but I won that. And then there was a slow, who can go the slowest. I thought I was going to win that. I entered it thinking, man, this isn't even fair, but turns out that some of these lawn tractors have a super low crawler gear, and these guys just had the tractor on idle in super low crawl gear, and you could barely even see the tires moving. Like it was like, okay, you win. I'm not going to get this one. But, yeah, that was really fun. What else? I don't know. Nothing else. It's a good show. And really looking forward to doing it next year. Hopefully next year I'll have some implements made. I've already got the ones I've got, but I want to have that brush cutter on the front. That'd be really great. I think I can get that done by next year. So, all right, guys. Well, kind of long video this week, but a lot going on this weekend. I want to thank everybody at work again. Kevin, for your fantastic paint job, the whole crew at RJE Machinery in Linden, Tennessee, for their support and help just anytime I needed it. So, all right, with that, me and Electric Static 4x4 say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.